Now, if you don't want the trade of the Ponderosa, there are 2 other stores in town. Be glad to get it.
No, Adam, that ain't fair. I've supplied
Now,
the
don't
Ponderosa.
talk fair to me, Will. I just heard you threaten to starve a man out. Now, you name it.
Pernell Roberts was a man many people thought they knew from the screen, but very few truly understood the life he lived behind it. From early success to difficult choices, from fame to personal struggles, his journey was far more complex than it ever appeared in Hollywood. Join us as we uncover the life, choices, and heartbreaking final chapter of Pernell Roberts, and the love that stood by him until the very end. Georgia beginnings. Pernell Roberts was born on May 18, 1928, in the small town of Waycross. Long before he became famous on television, he was simply a young boy growing up in a modest Southern household during difficult economic times. He was the only child of Pernell Elvin Roberts Sr., who worked as a Dr. Pepper salesman, and Minnie Myrtle Morgan Roberts. His parents lived a simple life, and although the family was not wealthy, they encouraged creativity and hard work from an early age. Being an only child gave Pernell a very independent personality. He spent much of his time exploring his interests and developing his talents. He shared a close connection with his mother and father, but he also learned how to entertain himself. That independence later helped him in the entertainment world, where confidence and self-belief were important. Even as a child, people noticed that Pernell had a strong presence and a natural ability to capture attention whenever he entered a room. From an early age, music became one of the biggest parts of his life. While attending school, he learned to play several instruments, including the horn. He loved performing and quickly became involved in school productions and church plays. Acting did not feel like a hobby to him. It felt natural. Teachers and community members often praised his performances because he brought real emotion and energy to every role. Pernell also sang in local USO shows during his younger years. These performances gave him experience in front of live audiences and helped build his confidence. He was not afraid to stand on stage, speak clearly, or perform in front of crowds. His calm voice, expressive face, and strong stage presence already hinted at the star he would later become. After high school, Pernell briefly attended Georgia Tech. However, traditional education did not fully satisfy him. He felt drawn toward performance, creativity, and the stage rather than classroom life. Instead of following a safe and predictable path, he made the bold decision to leave college behind and chase something uncertain. That choice would completely shape the rest of his life and career. But before Hollywood came calling, Pernell was about to enter a completely different world that would change him forever. Marine years. In 1946, shortly after finishing high school, Pernell Roberts made an important decision that would shape the next stage of his life. At just 18 years old, he joined the United States Marine Corps. Like many young men of that era, he was looking for direction, purpose, and opportunity after growing up during difficult times in America. The Marines offered structure, discipline, and a chance to build a future. Although Pernell would later become known as an actor, his military experience played a major role in helping him develop the confidence and focus that audiences would later admire on screen. During his time in the Marines, Pernell did not serve in combat. Instead, he became part of the Marine Corps Band, where his musical abilities truly began to grow. Music had already been important to him as a teenager, but military life pushed him to become more skilled and disciplined. He played the horn and tuba in the band, and he also became proficient with the sousaphone and percussion instruments. Learning multiple instruments required patience, practice, and dedication. Those years helped him become a more polished performer and taught him how to work closely with others in a professional setting. Life in the Marines was strict and highly organized. Every day followed schedules, rules, and expectations. For Pernell, This environment helped strengthen his self-control and work ethic. He learned how to stay calm under pressure and how to carry himself with confidence. The military also exposed him to people from many different backgrounds, giving him a broader understanding of the world outside his small hometown in Waycross. These experiences shaped the thoughtful and outspoken man he would later become. Even while serving, Pernell never lost his passion for performing. Music kept his creative side alive, and deep down, he knew he wanted something more artistic in life. The discipline of military service gave him stability, but it also made him realize that his true passion was storytelling and performance. After completing his service in 1948, he began moving toward acting with greater determination. The emotional pull toward the stage was impossible for him to ignore. Performing gave him a sense of purpose that military life could not fully satisfy. He wanted to express emotion, explore human stories, and connect with audiences in a deeper way. That desire eventually pushed him toward theater and changed the course of his life forever. And once Pernell stepped into the world of theater, his career started moving faster than anyone expected. Broadway dreams. After completing his service in the United States Marine Corps, Pernell Roberts became even more focused on pursuing acting. He enrolled at the University of Maryland, where he first encountered classical theater in a structured way. This opened a new world for him. Before this, he had mainly performed in local shows and musical events, but university training introduced him to deeper, more complex stage work. He studied famous plays and learned how actors use voice, movement, and emotion to bring characters to life. At the university, Roberts acted in several productions, including classics like Oedipus Rex and Antigone. These roles helped him sharpen his skills and understand theater as a serious art form. He quickly stood out for his strong voice and confident stage presence, even as a student. However, he soon realized that classroom training was not enough. He wanted real stage experience and chose to leave college early. This was a risky decision, as acting offered no financial security. He faced rejection, unstable income, and long periods of uncertainty. Still, he continued working in summer stock and regional theater, learning through every performance. In 1949, he achieved an early breakthrough with his professional stage debut in The Man Who Came to Dinner at the Olney Theater in Maryland. This opportunity gave him valuable experience and helped build his confidence as a working actor. By 1952, he moved to New York City, the center of American theater. Competition was intense, but Roberts worked constantly, performing in off-Broadway productions, Shakespeare plays, and experimental theater. Gradually, critics began to notice his talent. His Shakespeare roles, including Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, The Merchant of Venice, and Twelfth Night, earned strong praise. In 1955, he won a Drama Desk Award for Macbeth, establishing himself as a serious stage actor. Unlike many performers focused only on fame, Roberts valued meaningful, high-quality work. Theater became his true home, and his growing reputation soon opened doors to Hollywood and television. But just as his stage career reached new heights, a much bigger opportunity was waiting for him. Hollywood arrival. By the mid-1950s, Pernell Roberts had already earned respect in the theater world, but Hollywood soon began to notice him as well. After years of performing on stage in New York City, he slowly transitioned into television, which was becoming one of the biggest forms of entertainment in America. For Roberts, this move was both exciting and challenging. Stage acting required large emotional performances for live audiences, while television demanded a more natural and controlled style. Fortunately, his calm voice, expressive face, and strong screen presence helped him adapt quickly. Roberts first appeared in television anthology dramas and Western series which were extremely popular during the 1950s. He guest-starred in shows such as Gunsmoke, Cheyenne, Sugarfoot, and Have Gun Will Travel. These appearances helped introduce him to viewers across the country. Even in smaller roles, audiences noticed his intensity and seriousness. He did not play characters simply or predictably. Instead, he brought depth and emotion to every performance. In 1957, Roberts signed a contract with Columbia Pictures, an important step that opened the door to film opportunities. Soon afterward, he made his movie debut in Desire Under the Elms. In the film, he played one of the sons of Burl Ives's powerful character. Although it was not the lead role, Roberts gave a strong performance that showed audiences he could hold his own beside major Hollywood stars. Critics praised the emotional weight he brought to the character. During this period, Roberts became especially known for playing tough and dangerous characters. Many directors cast him as a villain because he had a commanding presence and could portray anger, intelligence, and tension very convincingly. One of his most memorable performances came in Have Gun Will Travel, where he played a ruthless exploiter of Chinese laborers. Roberts made the character believable and unsettling, proving he could handle emotionally difficult roles with skill and confidence. As his television appearances increased, so did his popularity. Producers appreciated that he brought a more thoughtful and educated style to Western roles. Unlike many television cowboys of the era, Roberts did not rely only on toughness or action scenes. Directors saw him as intelligent, serious, and emotionally layered. His theater background gave him a level of professionalism and depth that stood out in television westerns. By the late 1950s, Pernell Roberts was no longer just a stage actor trying to survive in Hollywood. He was becoming one of television's rising stars, and soon, one role would change his life forever. Bonanza conflict. In 1959, Pernell Roberts received the role that would make him famous across America when he was cast as Adam Cartwright in Bonanza. The show followed the Cartwright family as they lived and worked on the Ponderosa Ranch. Roberts played the oldest son of Ben Cartwright, portrayed by Lorne Greene. While the series focused on Western action and family drama, Adam Cartwright quickly became different from most television cowboys of the time. Adam stood out because he was educated, thoughtful, and calm. Unlike his younger brothers, he was written as a university-trained architectural engineer who enjoyed reading and intellectual conversations. He dressed more formally, spoke carefully, and often acted as the voice of reason within the family. Many viewers appreciated the maturity and quiet strength that Roberts brought to the role. His theater background helped him give Adam a level of depth that made the character memorable. Even though Bonanza became one of the biggest television hits in the country, Roberts was not fully happy working on the show. Behind the scenes, he grew frustrated with the repetitive scripts and limited storytelling. Coming from a serious theater background, he wanted more meaningful material and more complex character development. Instead, he often felt the show repeated the same simple ideas and emotional conflicts week after week. Roberts became openly critical of television and network executives. He believed many TV programs were focused more on ratings and profits than quality storytelling. He once described much of television as shallow entertainment and felt that networks underestimated audiences. Roberts also strongly disliked the lack of minority representation in television during that era. He believed Hollywood avoided important social issues and failed to give fair opportunities to actors from different backgrounds. These beliefs caused growing tension between Roberts and the producers of Bonanza. He frequently disagreed with writers over scripts and argued for more mature storylines. He also disliked the strict contract system that prevented actors from taking outside creative opportunities while working on a television series. Over time, these creative clashes became impossible to ignore. In 1965, after 6 seasons, Roberts shocked both fans and the television industry by leaving Bonanza at the height of its success. Walking away from one of the most popular shows in America was considered extremely risky. Many people could not understand why he would leave fame, financial security, and national popularity behind. Fans were deeply surprised when Adam Cartwright suddenly disappeared from the series. The show explained his absence by saying he had moved away, but many viewers continued asking questions for years. Some fans respected Roberts for following his principles, while others felt disappointed to lose one of the show's most intelligent and beloved characters. Still, Pernell Roberts was determined to follow his own path, even if it meant leaving television's biggest spotlight behind. Musical passions. Although millions of viewers knew Pernell Roberts as Adam Cartwright from Bonanza, acting was not his only passion. Music had been an important part of his life since childhood, long before television fame arrived. Throughout his career, Roberts remained deeply connected to folk music, and he often turned to music as a personal escape from the pressures of Hollywood. While many actors focused only on building their celebrity image, Roberts cared more about meaningful artistic expression, and music gave him another way to connect with emotion and storytelling. During his years on Bonanza, Roberts recorded a folk album titled "Come All You Fair and Tender Ladies." Released through RCA Victor, the album allowed fans to hear a very different side of him. Instead of the tough and intelligent cowboy they saw on television, listeners heard a calm, reflective performer with a warm and emotional singing voice. The album featured traditional folk songs that focused on love, loneliness, heartbreak, and everyday struggles. Roberts did not try to sound flashy or dramatic. His singing style was simple, sincere, and deeply personal. Songs included on the album, such as "They Call the Wind Maria," "Early One Morning," and "In the Pines," carried emotional weight and quiet sadness. Many of the songs explored themes of separation, hardship, and longing. Roberts connected strongly with these themes because he valued storytelling in every form of performance. Whether acting or singing, he wanted audiences to feel honesty and emotion. His musical performances reflected the same seriousness and thoughtfulness that he brought to the stage and screen. For Roberts, music became a way to step away from the frustrations he experienced in Hollywood. During his time on Bonanza, he often felt trapped by repetitive television scripts and the limitations of series acting. Music gave him creative freedom and peace away from the business side of the entertainment industry. Folk music especially appealed to him because it focused on human experiences rather than glamour or fame. After leaving Bonanza in 1965, Roberts fully returned to the world he loved most, live theater. He began touring in major stage musicals and dramatic productions across the country. He appeared in shows such as The King and I, Camelot, Kiss Me, Kate, The Music Man, and The Sound of Music. These productions allowed him to combine acting and music while performing in front of live audiences again. Roberts also returned to serious dramatic theater, taking on challenging roles in productions like Tiny Alice, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and 1,000 Clowns. Unlike television, the theater allowed him to constantly explore new characters and emotions. He no longer had to repeat the same role year after year. That artistic freedom mattered deeply to him. Even though leaving Bonanza was risky, Roberts believed personal fulfillment was more important than comfort or fame. He wanted a career built on creativity, honesty, and meaningful work, and music remained one of the clearest expressions of who he truly was. Still, after years away from weekly television, Pernell Roberts would soon find himself pulled back into the spotlight once again. Trapper Triumph. After years of focusing mainly on theater and occasional television appearances, Pernell Roberts made a major comeback in 1979 when he starred in Trapper John, M.D. The role gave him a chance to reinvent himself for a new generation of viewers. Instead of playing a Western cowboy like Adam Cartwright, Roberts now portrayed a skilled and experienced doctor working in a busy hospital. The character was mature, intelligent, compassionate, and confident, qualities that matched Roberts perfectly at that stage of his life and career. The success of Trapper John, M.D. surprised many people and completely revived his television career. Roberts had spent years criticizing network television, yet this series finally gave him the kind of material he respected more. The show allowed him to explore serious emotional situations and adult themes in a way that felt more realistic and meaningful than many earlier television programs. Audiences quickly connected with his calm and thoughtful performance, and he once again became a familiar face in households across America. His work on the series earned him an Emmy nomination in 1981, proving that his talent remained just as strong as ever. Interestingly, Roberts ended up playing Trapper John for even longer than the character had originally appeared in the famous television series MASH. The role brought him renewed fame, financial stability, and professional respect during the later years of his career. Around this time, Roberts also spoke openly about aging and security. He admitted that watching his father grow older made him think more seriously about the future. After years of unstable acting work, he realized the importance of a steady income and long-term financial security. While he still cared deeply about artistic integrity, he also became more practical about balancing meaningful work with commercial success. During the 1980s, Roberts became widely recognized through television commercials for Ecotrin aspirin. These endorsements introduced him to even more viewers and kept him highly visible in popular culture. Despite returning to mainstream television, he continued to value quality performances and thoughtful storytelling. Fans also enjoyed seeing Roberts reconnect with former Bonanza co-star Lorne Greene in later television appearances. These reunions brought back memories of the classic Western that had first made him famous decades earlier. But behind the success and public recognition, Pernell Roberts would soon face some of the most painful personal losses of his life. Private heartaches. Behind the fame and success, Pernell Roberts experienced many painful moments in his personal life. While audiences knew him as a confident television star, those closest to him saw a quieter and more thoughtful man who deeply valued relationships, family, and emotional connection. Roberts's first marriage was to Vera Mowry in 1951. Vera was a respected professor of theater history and an intelligent academic who shared Roberts's love for the arts and education. Their relationship was built on intellectual companionship as much as romance. They could discuss theater, literature, and performance in ways that mattered deeply to Roberts. During their marriage, the couple welcomed their only child, a son named Jonathan. Becoming a father brought Roberts great happiness and hope. Friends described him as deeply proud of his son, and fatherhood became one of the most meaningful parts of his life. Sadly, that happiness was shattered in 1989 when Jonathan died in a motorcycle accident. The tragedy devastated Roberts emotionally. Losing his only child was a heartbreak that reportedly stayed with him for the rest of his life. Although Roberts was known publicly for his calm and composed personality, those close to him understood how deeply the loss affected him privately. He rarely spoke publicly in great detail about the tragedy, but many believed the pain never fully left him. Roberts' personal relationships were often complicated. After divorcing Vera Mowry, he married Judith Anna Lebrecq in 1962, but that marriage ended in divorce in 1971. In 1972, he married Cara Knack, and that relationship lasted more than 2 decades before also ending in divorce in 1996. These repeated separations showed that maintaining long-term relationships was not easy for him. especially while balancing a demanding career and personal struggles. Later in life, Roberts finally found a more peaceful and lasting partnership with Eleanor Criswell. Their marriage brought him comfort and stability during his older years. Unlike the intense pressures of Hollywood, his relationship with Eleanor appeared quieter and more grounded. She remained by his side through his final years and supported him during his declining health. Away from television cameras, Pernell Roberts was far more private than many fans realized. He enjoyed reading, reflecting on old memories, and spending time away from public attention. His softer and deeply emotional side was often hidden beneath the strong characters he played on screen. And as the years passed, Pernell Roberts would soon face the final chapter of his remarkable life story. Final goodbye. In the final years of his life, Pernell Roberts faced one of his toughest battles when he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. By that time, he had already lived through decades of success, criticism, heartbreak, and personal loss. Unlike many celebrities who constantly remained in public view, Roberts chose to spend his later years quietly and away from Hollywood attention. He had little interest in chasing fame anymore and preferred the comfort of home, close friends, and family. Throughout his illness, his wife Eleanor Criswell remained faithfully by his side. Their relationship had brought him stability and peace during the latter part of his life, and she became his strongest source of support during his declining health. As his condition worsened, Eleanor cared for him privately while protecting him from excessive media attention. Their bond during those final years showed a softer side of Roberts that many fans rarely saw. During his final months, Roberts spent much of his time reflecting on the past. Interestingly, despite the frustrations he once felt toward Bonanza, he reportedly found comfort in watching reruns of the show later in life. The series reminded him not only of his career, but also of the friendships and memories shared with his former castmates. He especially missed Lorne Greene, Dan Blocker, and Michael Landon, all of whom had already passed away. Roberts once jokingly referred to himself as Pernell, the last one, Roberts, a comment that carried both humor and sadness. There was a heartbreaking irony in the fact that the actor who once walked away from Bonanza became the last surviving major member of the Cartwright family cast. Watching old episodes became a way for him to reconnect with the people and moments that had shaped such an important chapter of his life. On January 24, 2010, Pernell Roberts passed away at the age of 81 in Malibu. News of his death deeply saddened longtime fans who had grown up watching him on television. Colleagues and admirers praised his intelligence, talent, and willingness to stand by his principles even when it was unpopular. For Eleanor Criswell, the loss was devastating. After standing beside Roberts through illness and old age, she now faced life without the man she had loved and supported during his final chapter. Fans mourned the loss of a television icon, but for Eleanor, it was the loss of a husband, companion, and partner. But even after his passing, Pernell Roberts' story continued to spark conversations about fame, courage, and staying true to personal beliefs. Hidden convictions. One of the most important parts of Pernell Roberts' life, away from acting, was his strong commitment to civil rights and social justice. In 1965, he took part in the historic Selma to Montgomery marches. These marches were a key moment in the fight for voting rights in the United States. Roberts joined others who were standing up for equality and fair treatment for Black Americans. His presence showed that he was willing to take real action, not just speak from a distance. Inside Hollywood, Roberts also spoke openly about racial inequality. At a time when many actors avoided controversial topics, he raised his voice about how minorities were often ignored or poorly represented in film and television. He believed that storytelling should reflect real society, not just a limited version of it. This view made him stand out in an industry that was often slow to change. He also pushed back against major networks, including NBC, over their casting practices. Roberts was critical of the common practice of hiring white actors to play characters of different ethnic backgrounds. He felt this was unfair and dishonest. For him, representation mattered, and audiences deserved to see authentic portrayals on screen. Even when his opinions created tension in the industry, Roberts refused to stay silent. He knew speaking out could harm his career, but he believed some things were more important than personal success. This made him one of the more outspoken actors of his time, especially among leading men in television westerns. Roberts strongly believed in authentic casting and social responsibility. He thought actors and producers had a duty to treat stories with honesty and respect. In his view, entertainment was not just about escaping reality, but also about showing it truthfully. He often felt frustrated when television avoided serious social issues or presented simplified versions of complex lives. For Roberts, fame was not something to be used only for attention or money. He saw it as a tool that could help bring attention to important problems. He understood that being a well-known actor gave him a platform, and he chose to use that platform to speak about fairness and justice, even when it was uncomfortable for others. What makes his activism even more striking is the contrast between his public image and his private beliefs. On screen, especially in shows like Bonanza, he often played calm, controlled, and gentle characters. But in real life, he was bold, direct, and unafraid to challenge powerful systems. And that contrast is what makes his life story even more powerful as we look back at everything he stood for. Pernell Roberts' life was full of bold choices, strong beliefs, and unforgettable performances. From stage to screen, from fame to quiet personal moments, he never stopped doing things his own way. His story is a reminder that success is not just about popularity, but about staying true to what you believe in, even when it is difficult. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such stories about the lives of legendary stars and untold Hollywood stories.